What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's been a long time. We should have never left you. We are back due to fan demand, popular demand, with another anime corner. Now, we always like to say at the Press Start Select podcast, we take our comments very seriously. We take our engagement very seriously. If we don't acknowledge it or address it at some point, it's not because we forgot. It's just a matter of when. So we've had more than a few people ask, "Hey, where's Anime Corner? When are you guys going to get to the Dragon Ball Z Broly movie, for example?" And I was like, you know what? They're right. It's been a minute. The last thing we did was like Digimon like a year ago. So I say all that to say that tonight we will begin uncovering the modern Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super movies. The first two tonight will be Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F. Now, for those who well, we already know how Tim feels. Now, for those who don't necessarily remember Battle of the Gods, it was the grand revival to Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z had been on an indefinite hiatus slash ended for about a decade at that point. And we got little spin-offs here and there. There were, a couple of designs that Toriyama would throw into a video game every now and then, but nothing in terms of theatrical release outside of, Dragon Ball Evolution, that kept the Dragon Ball property moving. So after much hype, teaser trailers, little things here and there, of course, you got to slap Toriyama's involvement on top of the banner. We got Battle of the Gods, Dragon Ball's first theatrical debut in many years, came out in 2013. Now, brief synopsis for those who don't remember. At the beginning of the movie, we're introduced to two brand new characters, Beerus and Whis. We come to find out that Beerus is a god of destruction. He's been sleeping apparently for almost 40 years up until this point, and ends up waking up after one of his naps and is reminded of the Oracle Fish prophecy about him fighting a Super Saiyan God. So he then goes to find whatever remaining Saiyans they are, especially finding out that these are the Saiyans that beat Frieza. Ends up running into Goku, Vegeta, their kids, puts everybody in the blender immediately. And then, due to Shenron apparently being the vast knowledge of everything and anything, informs them of the ritual that would therefore bring the Super Saiyan God. We then get the first sign of Pan's existence in the Dragon Ball universe. They do the ritual. Goku becomes a Super Saiyan God. Him and Beerus fight, but ultimately Goku is overwhelmed and loses. Beerus decides to spare the planet, not because of the usual talk no jutsu that we see from our good-hearted protagonist, not because he was defeated, but because he really likes Earth's food. So that is the briefest of the briefest synopsis. So, as we've done in previous anime corners, fellas, what did you think of the general plot of Battle of the Gods?
D minus.
D minus?
Yes.
For the plot. Okay, tell me more.
Honestly, this was a clear sign of where it was going. Everything was just about animation. It was just about animation. It was about color palettes, transformations, or techniques, or sometimes they classify as both. And honestly, I didn't like it. I didn't like it, man. I didn't really like it. I felt like it was like just bait because they know people have been starving for something ever since GT. Because I get it, GT was like a lukewarm glass of lemonade.
Boy.
I get it. It was just a very lukewarm experience, and I get it. People wanted something more. The games were on like a little weird end as well, so they needed something to spark new life into the franchise to bring back revenue, and this was it. Now, yes, the interesting, God of Destructions, angels. Okay, so these are good lore elements, but then we also know that is where the beginning of the end starts.
Absolutely.
When they try to, oh no, there was more lore in between here, between these
There's
eras.
a hierarchy to the hierarchy. What?
Well, first of all, the biggest red flag sign was like, oh yeah, this is after Majin Buu, and that's what everybody wants to keep using. Oh, this was after Majin Buu. but before GT. But then there's also rumors that technically GT is being retconned. I was like, okay,
Right. The longest 10-year gap in the history of anime.
okay, okay. So once again, Goten and Trunks are kids. Um, they
Again.
they stick Trunks with a pedophile. That was another thing. I was like, no, bro. Like, there's no way you could play this off. Like,
No.
no,
Yeah,
come
I
on.
agree. It was weird. It was
Like,
weird.
no, it's weird, bro. So when the fighting starts happening, okay, like Goku goes through all the levels, Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3, which, when we get to that point, we'll discuss it. I was
Mhm.
like, okay. So he does that. He gets, slapped across Kami's planet. And, Beerus makes it to Earth and meets everybody else. Gets a little physical with Bulma. Vegeta goes into a Super Saiyan 2 rage moment with extra power. They do the copy and paste style of what they did for Super Saiyan 4. Like, so I'm like, oh, so you're using Super Saiyan 4 elements here. So is that coming?
Nope.
Maybe. But no, here's another color palette transformation. So it looks like, okay, is this like Super Kaioken or something? Like, because it's just all I see is just color.
Yeah.
All I see is just color. So like, we came this far for that. And I remember even reading like, the magazines that they released with the designs, and
Mhm.
it's like, I was like, bro, that's it. And I just knew, like, bro, this is just about to be all color palettes.
So I was gonna ask you guys because this is like a pretty well known thing now, where apparently when they pitched the idea of doing another movie to Toriyama, they already had a design for Super Saiyan God, and it looked very very different. So from what I can remember, Goku was gonna have something similar to Broly's style of hair in terms of length, because it's like almost like a legendary form. And for some reason, he would have had a cape, and he
No,
would have been even more muscular.
no.
So I'm like,
Oh,
compared to that,
unless it's like a turles cape. Unless it's a turles cape.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
But my thing about it is, and this is where I feel Dragon Ball just went wrong. What you tried to erase
You have to share those
GT's.
designs with me.
You tried to
Oh, I
you
will.
tried to delete you tried to delete GT so bad, but GT actually gave you a good marker that you could reach for the various levels of Super Saiyan. Now, and I kept saying it, and I'll keep standing on it that Super Saiyan 4 is the pinnacle of Saiyan evolution. But it's like when you try to do all these mix in between hybrid forms that you don't even fully explain, it's like you just got lost. And that's where it's like I said, the story elements of Dragon Ball just went out the window and it just became about all aesthetic. Because even when you paid attention to the details, you could tell this is also a different universe. Because in the original universe, where it's Dragon Ball Z, and GT, Bulma's daughter is older than Pan. But then you realize in this universe, Pan was born first.
Hmm.
So a lot of people didn't peep that. I was like, no. I was like, no, Bulla was born first. But then you
Mm.
realize like, oh, so now it, as you know, as the MCU, the multiverse of madness,
Yep.
second red flag. So yeah, overall, bro, I just gave it a D minus, man. Like it was just for animations. Barris did some God of Destruction, Death Ball, but didn't blow nobody up. But it was just about color and aesthetic.
Okay.
That's all it was.
Okay. Joy, what about you in terms of overall plot before we get into
See,
a C? Okay, so
yeah,
higher
I didn't.
than than
Yeah,
D
I didn't.
minus.
it wasn't. It wasn't like even though I think Beerus was a great creation, as far as like Toriyama designs, I think Beerus was a dope character. I appreciate his presence in Dragon Ball Z. I like the fact that he's at the level he's at, the power scale. Didn't mind that. Wasn't too sold on the Egyptian theme because it's like, okay, how are you gonna make this like relevant to Dragon Ball.
Oh, don't worry, they
Like are
won't.
all so okay, you pulling from this Egyptian culture, but you don't follow through with it. It's just I don't know, just a bit odd. And it didn't elaborate on his race or also the link between him and the angels is just odd lore. I don't think they really fully thought it through. The symbiotic relation. If one dies, then this one isn't
That's between them and the Kais.
Yeah,
between them and the Kais. Okay.
Yeah. The angels have immunity.
yeah. I feel like that whole thing was like an emergency stop button, right? So like if
It
the
was
god is person going too crazy, hey, hey Kai, you gotta
It's about to kill Kais. Like
okay.
one
Yeah.
guy was close to it. Like,
right.
hey, yo, finish what
I
you have
can't beat
going.
him, but I can definitely beat you.
Okay. So all right, then that's a but then even with that, that's squandered because now we know the full lore of the Kais, right? Supposedly with this installment of Dragon Ball Z Daima. But back to Battle of Gods,
Sure.
sure. Back to Battle of Gods, yeah, I'll give it a C. There was moments that were cool. Um, I just don't feel like I just was kind of turned off by the silliness of it all. And
Yes.
Really?
yeah, I
Yes.
was
Yeah, like
turned off by the
especially when
silliness
Beerus
of it all.
beats all of them up with like pew 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 pew. Like I was like I guess maybe I'm still old school. I want Dead Zone Tree of Might level of fighter.
Yeah, it was just
So
like
like this whole chopsticks, sit down.
it
Go
was that was
stop
cool, right? I would have
right.
accepted that had they made it more intense. But it was just cheap. It almost felt like I was watching Seven Deadly Sins and Meliodas fighting the demon that they built up for 23 seasons, only for Meliodas to sneeze on him. And then and then there you go. Right? You got characters called the 10 Commandments. That should have been the Akatsuki of that universe, the espadas of that universe, but they turned out to be regular Jesse and James Team Rocket villains of the day.
Yeah.
You're trash.
I,
But,
I'm kind of conflicted with because I think initially when I first watched the movie, I would agree with you guys. I'm like, this is I don't know what they were thinking. What is happening? But then I think to kind of give a little bit of pushback and to speak to your point, Jory, I think it helps in the grand scheme of what will come from this. It helped establish Beerus as like that next level of like this isn't before where you would like maybe I can't damage Frieza but I can bruise his cheek. It's like no, this man two tap Goku. It's over for all of you.
which was fine. I didn't have a problem with that. But I have seen it done better in the Dragon Ball Z universe for people with less power. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
So, um, yeah, it just the silliness turned me off, and the
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
that, and it was them coming together to give Goku the power to fight off Beerus was kind of like
Like I
another
said, a hierarchy to the
rabbit
hierarchy.
out of the hat moment where I just didn't like it at all, right?
There's a
I
Super
also like
Saiyan, the legendary Super Saiyan, and now the
Because
Super
to
Saiyan
me,
God.
because to me, what would have made sense is if he was able to sustain that ability in 3, right? Had he gone to 3 and been able to sustain it, and then
no.
kind of breach into 4,
But then
would
the
have
thing
been
about it is, bro, like, all right, they threw out like, oh, there's this lore about a Super Saiyan God. But then the thing about it is, like, and remember, we always said that the downfall with Dragon Ball, as especially of Z, was the overly reliance on Saiyans. So you
yeah.
mean to tell me we're finally back, and you're tripling down on the
Yeah.
Saiyans? It's like, bro, like we just said, and because you had enough time because we were in a hiatus. we don't like what y'all did to the humans. We don't like how you just made Piccolo like this side content character. We don't like
Babysitter.
how you did any of this
Babysitter.
type of stuff. So you were on this hiatus for a time to just to not even like how you said earlier, Jory, like when you were talking about Ninja Gaiden, that's how I felt about this. To just we don't care. Here is more Saiyan lore that we know we are not gonna follow up on. A Saiyan deity-ish.
That nobody
Yeah,
knows about.
And where was nobody no and then there's it's not even embedded in Saiyan culture.
yeah,
You know what
like
I'm
because
saying?
like, if
Like
you mean
this
to tell me
the references
If Vegeta don't know, how like you mean to tell me this little commoner who came to Earth way back then should like be the one? And then like I said, it's the nostalgia bait of Super Saiyan 4. Oh yeah, let's all get into a circle around him and do the just like how you did, Goku and Baby.
Yeah, pretty much.
and okay, so if that's something that you're gonna do, right? If that's something that you're gonna do, why wasn't this done before? Or even after Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like it's not consistent, right? More rabbits out of the hat.
It was for, as Ant said, it was to sell toys.
And that's where
Oh,
like that's
and
where
a
I give
new
it a
game.
C.
Because you remember that game came out,
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Battle of
I wish I
Z.
could forget.
It's like, bro, and that's where everything just went downhill, bro. Like
Yeah,
it was just for toys
they need
and
to
revenue.
they need to write out their lore, man. They have to. Like Oda is showing you what rewards you can get
Right.
when you
What
write out the
right.
lore.
Something called
Like
payoffs when you
payoffs.
when you write in advance. Um
Yes.
okay. Uh my thoughts
And
about the oh yeah, I mean last thoughts about the plot before we move into
yeah, and then there was a moment where Vegeta actually sparked Beerus. So I'm like, okay, if that's the possibility, I think 3 should be more than enough to do the damage if Vegeta was able to do that. So then that's where I felt like them doing the circle should have been able to give Goku the limit breaker within 3. If
Oh,
if we weren't gonna go in further into transformations, you know what I'm saying? Because now it's like at this point, nothing really matters.
remember, Jory, this is also the era where power levels are just
they mean
gone away.
nothing. They
They
mean
mean nothing.
nothing. Nothing.
Oh, but then Goku, well, Vegeta punched him in Super Saiyan level 2. But Goku couldn't touch him in Super Saiyan 3. It's like we don't care. It's all for aesthetic and nothing. Like our man said,
Don't touch his
it
Bulma.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Like our man said, it doesn't matter.
Because
Oh,
you
that
could have even gone the route of like, okay, just like Goku and Gohan figured out how to perfect Super Saiyan, right, in the Cell games. Maybe Vegeta learned how to perfect Super Saiyan too. Would kind of make sense for his character. Nah, don't worry about it. He just got angry. Just worry about the fact that he loves Bulma. I'm like, I mean, this is cool, good character writing, but this led to nothing. Like he does his whole attack, and Beerus is just as untouched as he was 5 minutes ago. But sure, I guess.
D minus.
yeah, no C. I give it a C because there was parts where I enjoyed and parts where it was just like, yeah. But once we get to the resurrection of F, I can't wait to give my grade on that one.
I feel like the first time I watched Battle of Gods, I'd kind of be like at a D, to be honest. I was so underwhelmed with this movie. So underwhelmed with this movie. I thought there was
Just where it
so
took place
many
too.
huh?
Just where the scenery wasn't it for me. Usually Dragon Ball Z movies kill in scenery.
And the thing is, like, they had some decent ideas, like especially when Goku and Beerus
Three,
start
four
fighting in the
locations.
city.
4 locations.
Yeah. When they started fighting in Capsule Corp around, I'm like, this is kind of cool. And then like, oh no, never mind, we're back in the wastelands again. It's like, oh my goodness, can y'all let how barren is this world? I don't understand.
Y'all don't watch any episodes of Justice League? Superman could have a fight in the city. Superman.
Right,
You can do it too.
right. You have warriors that move at the speed of light. I'm pretty sure they can actually get the city clear in a couple of minutes at their speed.
Yeah.
But
But why would they give you what you want?
on a rewatch, I would probably give it somewhere closer to like a B. And
Okay.
that's mostly because I really enjoyed most of the character writing. Like I felt
Mm.
like a lot of the characters, it felt given the hiatus of how long it had been without a proper Dragon Ball entry, it didn't feel like Vegeta felt like Vegeta. Goku felt like all the characters did not feel like they were acting out a character. Of like, of course Majin Buu wouldn't give the God of Destruction his pudding cup. Of course he like there was no other alternative to that in terms of writing for me. So like seeing how these characters interacted, even though I know people have like their thoughts about like, oh, but Vegeta doing the bingo dance was so. I'm like, no, I don't. If you think about why he was even doing that in the first place, he's like, I'm trying to do this so we don't get atomized.
Okay. I'm
You
gonna
know what I'm
talk.
saying?
I'm gonna say something about that.
Let me finish my plot synopsis. You
No,
just
yeah,
talked for like 10 minutes.
please, yeah. No, no, no. Go ahead, go ahead. I wasn't gonna cut you off. I was
Yeah.
just saying,
I,
let me say something about that.
I think like it's hard given to what Tim's point said of like you've tripled down now on making everybody else irrelevant. I think even with that, like you still were able to do little bits and things here and there. Whereas like even though I would have preferred a different approach, right? Like I don't like the fact that Beerus literally spanks Gotenks out of Super Saiyan. But I'm like, but it fits within what's happening with that character. Of like, of course, even Gotenks would not take Beerus seriously despite what's happening him around him. Like I didn't like Gohan getting folded like laundry, but at that point, they didn't know what to do with his character, right? He's just there. He's there because he
Professor.
has to be there.
Oh my
But just seeing little things here and there of like, Puar doing the rock, paper, scissors with Beerus. Like it just certain, like again, the character writing to me was so good that I enjoyed it. And I actually feel like the last fight when Goku ironically loses Super Saiyan God was actually pretty good. That whole like I will not let you destroy my world and him and Beerus start clashing in the stratosphere. I'm like, I like this looks good to me. This looks like Dragon Ball at that time. What? He said?
Illusion.
So to me, I'm like on a rewatch, I give it closer to a B. And I really like Beerus. I think Beerus is to what Jory said. Like I'm in agreement. I think Beerus is one of the best things that happened to the Dragon Ball in terms of character implications. Now, does it go anywhere? Absolutely not. But I think having him as like a new ceiling to me was like, okay, as long as they don't break the ceiling, which of course they would because it's Dragon Ball, we're good. But at that time, it felt appropriate. But Joe, what were you gonna say?
Okay, so another thing that got me infuriated was he's the reason why Planet Vegeta got destroyed. Am I correct or am I wrong?
He's also the
He
reason why the
initiated.
dinosaurs no longer exist.
Okay, so now it's like it almost makes it moot, pointless for Vegeta to even be angry that he initiated the attack. Like, because it's like, oh, he's been training you. What, like, how angry are you gonna get after this? Like, and now is Beerus all of a
which is
sudden gonna?
why they still haven't brought that to back to Super has been out for so long, and they still haven't brought that up.
Yeah.
It's because they, like I said, they've written themselves into a hole. Like, where do you even go after that?
Yeah, so now, so okay, because for me, if Vegeta gets mad at this point, it would make sense, but then it wouldn't make sense at the same time
Yeah. They
because
spend so
now
much time around him at this point. It doesn't. He's
he's a
just.
part of your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if he gives you an apology and says I was wrong for destroy, I'm just
Well,
saying.
he wasn't the one who actually physically did it, but like he inspired Frieza to do it, basically in a
Yeah.
sense.
Pretty much gave Frieza the kill order.
Yeah, the kill.
But
Yeah.
he so then okay, so then Frieza's taking commands from him. So that's what this all. So
See, but
that's
then
what.
that's why I keep saying when they keep putting all that, like, oh,
A
just
hierarchy.
squeeze it,
A
squeeze it,
hierarchy. A hierarchy.
So
just
I'm like,
squeeze it. Like that bookshelf that is like it's overpacked. Like, oh no, we it needs to be in alphabetical order. So
let
just
me.
put that one little in there. That's what it's like. Come on,
And
bro.
it's you tarnished it, man. Like it's done because now Vegeta get hot, and now Beerus is the enemy. I'm like, yo, you gonna have to fight Whis too.
And especially after a particular arc, now you know how to defeat Beerus. So what are you gonna do about it?
Supreme Kai, you got to go for the
Yeah, so now
for the greater good.
and I don't see Dragon Ball Z becoming that dark or
It
Shakespearean.
won't. It won't.
You feel me? So,
Yeah.
and if it does, do I even want this type of Dragon Ball Z?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe, right? But yeah, dog. Like it's just at this point, man. That's the last point I wanted to make. It's just it doesn't mean anything, man. Our man's words, man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like
To keep up with our formula, though, how did you guys feel about Beerus being the villain of this movie?
See,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because it's like
it
okay,
was too much comedic relief, bro.
yeah, like it wasn't, and it didn't go nowhere. Like there was no
Yeah,
stakes.
it was a comedy movie. It was a comedy movie.
Okay.
Like it kind of felt like one of them filler episodes that you didn't really ask for. And it's just like, yeah, it has some
Mr. Miss
cinematic moments.
Picklix.
It had some cinematic moments, but it was just for you to just watch. And that's just it.
Mm.
What's that
Oh yeah.
episode? What's that episode of Teen Titans where there's like a fake dimensional Robin? That's what that felt like.
Yeah.
Mm. I I'm kind of in agreement with you guys. I do think Beerus. I like his design a lot, to be honest. I just I agree that he felt threatening. Sorry, he didn't feel threatening and threatening at the same time. Of like, I'm getting an idea of like, yes, it was kind of cool when Goku's trying to fight him on King Kai's planet, and you're seeing it from Beerus' perspective, and Goku's literally moving in slow motion in comparison. But it's also just like they really throw some basic punches, and then Beerus does the generic villain death ball, like every other villain ever, and the movie's kind of over. You know, it's like it just again, the idea of him was cool, the design of him is cool, the implications of him is kind of cool, but it's just like the execution of like you guys said, like he's not a villain in the traditional sense, which is it
He's
was
just him.
different. He's just there,
him.
yeah, like
He's just himself.
yeah. So I mean, design, I'd probably give it a A, but as a villain, I'm kind of with y'all with a C. I'm like, it's he's just there. He's just there. Is there anything that you guys would have wanted to see him like? What would have made him a better villain to you guys?
To be honest, man, the only thing that was cool about them was the connection to the Kais. I felt they shouldn't have connected him to the Saiyans in any type of way. I felt like, okay, if this is a true Majin Buu isk story, you should have connected it to Babidi because, all right, Babidi figured out a way to all right, let's just say Babidi's true goal was to eliminate the god of destructions. Basically, throw a little Goku Black Lord there. Because he had to know. Because why were you going around exterminating all the Kais?
Right.
So there has to be some type of awareness. He knew what that meant. That was going to be.
Wow,
Because he
that's
was the
very good.
closest one. He was the closest one to that goal. So all right, Beerus wakes up, finds out, hey, where's the Supreme West Kai? Where's the Supreme South Kai? Oh, while you were sleeping, there was an incident. Oh, well then who's left? Oh, the Supreme. Is he the West Kai or
I think he's
something?
the North.
One of them. And yeah, there's two Kais left. Like two Kais left. So that means if anything happens to them, I'm just
Finito.
But then what happened to this creature? Oh, he was
It's on Earth.
eliminated by some Saiyans. I like Saiyans. There's still more of them? Okay. Goes to Earth. Introduces himself. Now where that story goes from there, maybe he's interested to see, okay, who was the persons that defeated Majin Buu? Let me test their strength.
I actually like that a lot better than tying him to Frieza. Way better, actually.
That's genius. No, but see, that's using. It's writing 101. You write the lore and it writes itself. Like you don't have to do anything extra. You write a character named Rocks, right? He's about to do this and that, and then other characters form around him. Tim, that's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I actually like
That's
that
a
idea a
10
lot.
out of 10.
Bro, it's right there. It's right there,
10
man.
out
But
of
it's
10.
just people just gotta take hold of it, bro.
And my thing is, right, like I'm done, man.
Okay.
I'm done. Yeah, that's a 10 out of. Oh, what I would have done. Man, that's actually not bad, Tim. It doesn't make any sense for it just to be Beerus. Like you don't have no followers, no subjects, just
See, and
you.
that's a good way he could find out what happened to them. Let's just say he wakes up and he summons the Kais of his dimension. And he's like, hey, some of you are missing. What happened? Oh, there was an incident and you were gone for so long.
We
I
couldn't
mean,
wake you up.
yeah, someone of that grandeur doesn't have any form of like follow. It's just him,
But I think
which
it
is like,
it is based off his personality. Because if you look at when they introduced the other gods of destruction, I think there's at least three of them where like the clown had subjects. The like Egyptian looking woman, she had like pretty much the whole universe loves her, which is odd. Like I think Beerus was just not likable, to be honest.
Yeah. Barris was like he was just the temperamental one, like, you looked at me wrong? Death
Hawkeye.
ball.
Yeah.
And maybe that's probably what sparked Bobbity, because it's like, oh, we missed a tribute and he blew up half my planet.
yeah. I
He was
mean,
Thanos.
dog, like, like that is. Kid, we just came up with this in 10 minutes. This is not good. This is not good. And that's
Again,
why.
like I say on the main pod all the time, respect. Thank you for your contributions. Rest in peace. But we've seen Toriyama without his editors, and it is not
Oh
always
no,
the
it's not.
greatest.
It's not
I
always
have
the greatest.
ideas.
Perfect Cell would have been second form
Yeah.
Cell, ladies and gentlemen.
You need someone with the critical eye to be like, no, no, this is not. We're not
Yeah.
doing this.
And if you do, I'm leaving.
You're right.
Yeah. But yeah, I think for me where the direction I would have taken it was yeah, Beerus not having any subjects is just odd. I just that didn't make okay. To Tim's point, that's actually fair. That's actually a good indicator to move the needle. But for me, what I've done with Beerus, what I thought Beerus, I would have definitely gave him a posse. Maybe they would have been asleep, and maybe the Kais didn't wake him up in time, and because the Kais didn't wake him up in time, XYZ happened. But then he would have had his subjects go to Earth and investigate, find out who it is. He shows up, get yourself a little hierarchy battle, get everybody involved.
I mean,
And
technically, everybody was involved. They just got packed
so,
up.
yeah, they would have got packed up a little after, like mid arc. You feel me? When Beerus shows up,
He packed
but
up every single person that could throw a punch.
they would say, "Oh, what, they put my subjects down? My troops? Oh, I gotta go see who these people are." You know what I'm saying? Maybe like have Beerus want to attend to something a little bit more immediate, but this, because of what happened on Earth, drew his attention away. He shows up. Hey, you guys are meddling in my affairs. I want to see who's this Goku XYZ. Blah blah blah. Boom. Then you move on and you continue to move the needle. Well, we're looking for Majin Buu. That he's at Gohan's house. Majin Buu's at Gohan's house. They're looking for Majin Buu because they figured out that Majin Buu's
Oh
connected to
yeah,
Bobby,
because remember Super
right?
who is still alive. So
Buu's still
oh yeah,
alive.
like, is he alive? I mean, well, kinda. Like,
Right?
but yeah,
Kinda.
Yeah, and then they find out that Boo has the ability of absorption, and they said, well, if Boo absorbs XYZ, this could be problematic if he continues. A creature like this should not live because he reminds me of Bobby the XYZ, and he was almost successful in his attempt to destroying me. Let me go find Boo. Boo's at or let me go send the minions to go find Boo. They find Boo at Gohan's house. Gohan, because he doesn't train, they split Gohan. Piccolo got to get involved. they're looking for Majin Buu XYZ. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That could have been a more interesting take on the story, building Bobbity to be I'm not Bobby, building Beerus to be even more impactful and have more weight. Because his personality is good enough for him to be in the background. He says enough interesting things for him not to be present there.
That's true. I think and I don't want to necessarily like put words in your mouth, but I think the sense I'm getting is that like we were being told how dangerous Beerus was instead of seeing how dangerous Beerus was. Like it was always just like he's a bro. But I mean, if everyone goes down to one hit, I don't know what that means. If he shows up
There's
and
no
the fight's
scale.
already over, I don't know what that means.
There's no scale.
Yeah.
You know, it almost feels like I was watching Beerus. Kind of reminds me of Apocalypse in the X-Men movie. Just no, there was no number one, the actor that they chose. I don't know why they went with. They could have picked Batista.
It was weird because I'm like, I like Oscar Isaac, but I'm like, but why
I do,
is he
but
Apocalypse?
not for this. Not for this. They could have picked Batista. You feel me? He has enough range.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay. Those are all fair. It's fair, very fair critiques. Honestly, I don't have anything to add. I think I really like Tim's idea. I asked the question not knowing how I would have fixed it. So yeah, I'm on board with what he said. Last couple things of our formula, which I've already said my piece. I just want to get your guys' opinion. How do you think they handled the Z fighters in this movie?
F.
Really?
F. They were just punching bags, bro.
But everyone was punching bag. They were one of our ongoing critiques about the main Dragon Ball, the 13 Dragon Ball Z movies, is there are punching bags in there too. They never got the W.
No, but then this was even worse. This was comic relief.
A return? Yeah. This was terrible, dog. Vegeta doing the big
turn, like no, bro. No.
Goten getting spanked. The same Goten that fought Majin Buu. Like there was comedy in that too, but this was a pitiful way to go out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
the chopstick scene was disrespectful. I'm not gonna hold you.
To Piccolo, right?
Oh, no, man, to Tien first. Oh, and then Piccolo.
Yeah, they went to sleep.
Yeah, bro. Because like when I look at Tien and Piccolo, man, I just think of them in their Dragon Ball, like overall as like.
Do you know who Tien is in Chinese lore?
I don't think they know because.
Do you know what Tien is in Chinese lore?
The new Yamcha.
No. Dog, Tien is a problem in Chinese lore, and they do this. I'm like, yo, dog, Tien. I'm just gonna say there's a manga called Feng Sing Ji.
All right, quick break. So you guys, which I guess is fair. I mean, to me, I'm like they got packed up. It's like they got packed up in every other movie. Like this is just another version of the Turles core fight to me, but with one person. I'm like, why pack you up separately when I could pack you up together in one montage?
Despicable, bro.
Yeah, it was just. I think the character writing was good. I do agree. I think that was one of the things on my first watch. I was just like, bro, why? Why does Gohan get kicked once and it's over? Like it just felt like, yo, what was the point? What was the point of having Majin Buu on standby, having Gohan get his potential unlocked? What this means nothing in the face of true danger every single time in the moment. Like I said, I think it helps to what you guys said in the comedic aspect of making Beerus seem almost comically powerful. But it's just like, bro, like they could have just sat at the table. Like they could have just ran away with Bulma at this point if this is what we're gonna do. And then of course you guys, we know how Tim feels. What do you guys think about the transformation?
F.
Yeah, I gathered.
Kalapali. Like let's just say if we was playing Budokai 1, I got Namek Goku, I went Kaioken, and you chose the same Goku and did Kaioken. That's what it is, but it's a color palette swap.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it really was. It's super Kaioken with no explanation.
I've come to accept it a little bit. I can't bring myself to say that I like it. I can't. I don't. It's just something about it, like you said, Tim, was like I cannot bring myself to be like, we took Goku, We made him skinnier, and everything about him is red now. I'm like, there should be something more here. I don't know what. I can't put my finger on it. But I'm like, there should be something more. But I think because of what came way, 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 way down the road when they remember that this form even existed, right? Like when we got to what was happening with him fighting Broly, I'm like, here's some cool things that can be done with God Key that I don't think you guys utilize. It was just like you turned it, like Tim said, into a color palette of like you're not really tapping into what this could mean in terms of, again, for people who've been watching this for a long time, our favorite go-to technique. Technique and ability. Not so he could yell louder and punch harder, but what can he do now that he can tap into godlike abilities? Nothing? The best fight in the movie was him as a regular Super Saiyan? Then what was the point? Why did we even do this?
What?
Toys.
And I guess lastly, what did you guys how would you guys compare this to the way the anime handled this arc? Do you prefer the changes they made?
I hate the double. You do the movie, then the arc in the anime. I hate it.
Even from the perspective of like, well, the movie can only have a certain runtime, and maybe there's certain ideas we didn't get to utilize, and so on and so forth.
It depends.
Mm.
It depends.
For me, it's
It
all just
depends.
fluff.
But then Super no.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the fact that the Super Saiyan God fight was a little bit longer, but it started to get into like this weird territory of like it definitely helps like the power scaling arguments when everyone tries to say that Goku's weaker than so and so. I'm like, him and Beerus, we're about to shatter the entire universe. I don't know if Superman's getting it done, but sure, you know. But I think other than that, I'm like, I didn't really like. Okay, instead of it being at Bulma's house, it's on a yacht, and somehow they're fighting around the yacht, but don't destroy the yacht, even though they're two godlike beings clashing. It was like this should be looking like Zack Snyder Superman right now. It is, like if we're really talking about two celestial beings at this point, and we just didn't. I didn't really see anything other than worse animation for the most part with the anime handling of this movie. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we normally cover. Uh, so Tim, you gave it a D minus. Jory, you gave it a C for the story. Overall, do you guys kind of stay on that as a movie as a whole?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the prelude to something even worse.
I agree. I agree.
Okay. Okay. So you guys heard it: B, C, and D minus from from Press Star Select Podcast. Now to move on to the second movie that we're covering tonight. Hi, Resurrection of F. Now, for those who again don't fully remember this movie, if you thought that Battle of Gods was a retcon, Resurrection F took retcon and threw the retcon out the window of not only did we throw out the rule of like, oh yeah, if somebody passes away, you only have a year to revive them. It's like, nope, turn around can do whatever now. As long as you think about that person, you can bring them back to life. Doesn't matter how long they've been gone. So you have the remaining of Frieza's force going to Earth, just so happening to run into Pilaf's crew, who just so happen to have all the Dragon Balls, and they wish Frieza back to life. But the quote unquote catch is because he's been gone so long, he can only be revived in the way he passed. But because he's Frieza, him being revived in pieces means nothing. Because, of course, they have a machine that puts you back together. So they gather up literally the parts, the jumping and moving parts of Frieza, put it in a container, put him in a machine, comes back, immediately takes out one of the henchmen that was introduced earlier in the movie. Immediately. And then decides that, which I guess tracks for his character, of like the first thing I want to do is take out Goku. That's the first thing on my mind before rebuilding my empire. He shows up on Earth. There is this montage of most of the Z fighters fighting his troops. Then Frieza gets out of his high horse, embarrasses Gohan again. And then Goku and Vegeta show up. Goku and Frieza have their match. Goku reveals his new form, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, aka Super Saiyan Blue. Frieza goes to Golden Frieza. They fight, and as Frieza is starting to lose, then Vegeta wants to jump in, and it just kind of becomes this thing where, again, in Retcon City, of like, it doesn't matter how strong you are, if you're quote unquote off guard, anything can happen. So, and yet another controversial moment, Goku, his newest god form, gets taken out by a gun,
A, a ring
a
pop
ring
gun.
pop gun, and not just a ring pop gun, a ring pop gun that punches through his body and puts him near death. A god killer gun, if you will. So then Vegeta shows up, starts giving Frieza that work, but because Vegeta can never get the W, apparently, ever, no matter what happens, as he's about to defeat Frieza, Frieza decides to blow up the Earth. Thankfully, Whis can break the powers of reality, and he rewinds time and brings Earth back, only for
And
Goku
then
to swoop in and one-shot Frieza. Roll credits.
F.
Fellas? Wait, is it too?
F.
F?
Resurrection of F gets an F plus.
Honestly, bro, like this was the true
It's
downfall of
FFF rank.
this. It was the true downfall of the series, man. Because first of all, look at this in logical sense. So, okay, this is after Trunks did what he had to do to Frieza, and then of course after the Cell Saga, after the Majin Buu Saga. So you mean to tell me Frieza's been dead for 15 plus
At
years?
least.
And then especially after with Vegeta, because remember, you also got to remember Vegeta also went into space and he was going after the remnants of the Frieza Force.
Mhm.
So you made it seem like Vegeta just did what he had to do and the rest of them just disbanded. That's what you made it seem like. But then here's this crew of unknown people who want to keep the legacy of the Frieza Force together, even though in this particular universe, all the hierarchs are dead,
Right.
meaning him and King Cold. This could have been a perfect way to introduce Cooler.
Mhm.
Because I felt like, okay, if Frieza has been dead for 15 plus years and the army is scattered to the four winds of the earth due to what happened on Namek and Earth, who is the only one who could reunite this broken empire? The prodigal son, who for some reason was not chosen to be the successor
Mhm.
of, of the empire, which could go into Cooler's lore. Why didn't my father choose me? I am the eldest. And then, of course, he learns about like, hey, Frieza was taken out by some unknown Saiyan evolution. So over that time, he trained. Oh, I have a form like in the original movie. I have a form beyond. And of course, in true fashion, get the little visor, go ham. Let's see what this form really can do. But no, for round two, once again, all we've gotten was a color palette. A PlayStation 2 Budokai color palette. You chose Frieza, Joy chose Frieza. We went final form. One is white, one gold. And I was like, bro, like when I saw the images, I was like, bro, no, this is 2 for 2, bro, and we don't
Yeah, I
need
couldn't believe it. I couldn't
I
believe the
couldn't believe
color
it
palette.
either. I'm not
I
gonna
was
lie.
like, wait, you just turned him into a Lakers?
I couldn't
You
believe it.
just turned
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
put him in a Lakers jersey?
Yeah.
And then, like how you said, it was the retcons. I was like, no, bro, like, no, we're not about to do this. But then, of course, with Tim, technically it's a different universe, so they could do it. I was like, no, see, once you get into that multiverse madness, that's when
He-
things just. And then
There
once
shouldn't be
again,
3 Bardogs, but go ahead.
Goten and Trunks are. Oh, and this is the part when Goten and Trunks are just getting sidelined for everything. So you mean to tell me 2 kids who took on Majin Buu just, oh no, they couldn't join the fight, but Master Roshi's here?
Right. We didn't tell them
Oh,
about it.
but Master
What?
Roshi, this is not the same Master Roshi that you know as. I mean, I understand that, but you mean to tell me two Super Saiyan boys? I mean, and it also would have brought more plot to Frieza because, hey, who is this little boy with purple hair
Mm-hmm.
that looks oddly familiar?
Mm-hmm.
No, oh no, he wasn't there. So, like I said, bro, it was just F. And then, to make it even worse, you doubled down on color palettes.
Yeah.
So I'm here thinking, okay, yeah, they about to use this little red form. No, blue.
Yeah.
I was like,
No,
wait, and what's it called? Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. So he basically turns Super Saiyan God, and then he turns Super Saiyan in the midst of that. So does that mean that they have to go through the Super Saiyan levels all over again?
Maybe. How else would
Don't
you
ask,
explain Ultra Sparkly Vegeta?
don't ask questions,
Right.
Tim. I was like, I just enjoy the movie. No, I can't. I can't enjoy the movie because this is garbage. Like, bro, you had the formula right there, bro. This could have just been a cooler introduction, bro, because it makes sense. Who could have kept this military together? And then that could even went into more lore about when Vegeta was in space. Why did he come back to Earth? Oh yeah, him and Cooler fought each other and it ended in a draw or something like that. Or and they just parted ways because I've always said like, Cooler and Vegeta have a lot of things in common. They're very prideful about their race. And and they also both have, I wouldn't say warrior conduct, but
They do.
very
They do.
in
Yeah.
that same realm.
Mm-hmm.
In that same realm. So I could have felt like, yes, once again, you could have brought more into like the Vegeta aspect. But cool, if you wanted to bring Frieza back, all right. But it should have been Vegeta's win. Because when Vegeta was pounding Frieza, you should have used flashbacks from what happened
Yes, bro.
when he
Yes.
was strangling him and beating him. Like that could have been his revenge, right? Like I really took down the entire Frieza force myself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
'cause when you really look and think about it, I tell people like the most dangerous version of Vegeta was Namek Vegeta. But Namek Vegeta was on a rampage. This dude took down all of Frieza's generals: Kui, Dodoria, Zarbon, Goldo, Raccoon, Berta, Jace. He was just wiping them out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, during the Garlic Jr. saga, which was filler, but you went into space and you was taking more people out. But like you made it clear, I want to destroy everything he has.
Yeah. I'm taking your whole legacy.
And now I could find, and then technically my legacy did kill you
Mm-hmm.
because it was my son who killed you and your father.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like now I have the final chance to, savor the victory. But nope, of course, if you ain't Goku,
You're irrelevant.
irrelevant.
Yeah. Would you have felt differently about the movie? Let's say the movie plays out the exact same way, except
Which
of
one, the coolest storyline or
no.
the Vegeta winning?
So, like, let's say Resurrection F, right? Beat for beat is the same way, but they introduced Cooler instead of bringing back Frieza. Would you have felt better about the movie?
Yes, yes, because it makes sense. Because I mean, I guess we're jumping ahead of ourselves because it's like, all right, the next movie, what did you do? You made one of the top movie characters canon
Mm-hmm.
in a reintroduced story. So that means it's telling me you could do it.
Yeah.
You could have done it. So like it really makes sense. Like, bro, why are you dodging this character? Like, because he is the most logical person to be a part of this story in so many ways.
terrible writers.
Yeah.
Um,
Jory, what's your thoughts on the overall plot?
Resurrection F,
Yeah.
I thought it was trash. You see Frieza in hell. He's in this cocoon,
Oh, they
watching.
even retconned that. I was like, so
Yeah,
why is he not around everybody else like they were in Majin
He's
Buu?
in Earth's hell, which I don't know what that means.
like that's why I don't really get mad when people make fun of Dragon Ball Z fans. You guys don't know what a story is. Like I'm like they don't. Feel me? Rocks for brains and a couple of pop rocks. Yeah, yeah. That's what you know what I'm saying. Let me see a fight that I can actually keep up with.
Right.
That's best fighting. No, it's not. There was a time when Naruto's choreography was making you question, what was I watching?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, like I thought it was bogus because I'm thinking Resurrection F, like, okay, wouldn't have made more sense if Cooler shows up at the same time, and then now you tell me Frieza could have always gotten that strong. He just chose not to train.
Yeah.
And then you didn't even give Frieza a cooler like transformation, bro.
Nothing.
No, it was just a color palette. I was like, bro, come on.
And like, don't give me that he's gonna go 200% this time and just get buff short man,
Mm-hmm.
like, and do the Frieza blitz, like, fam, like, what do we like? I like that's when I was like, okay, they put him in a machine, they bring him back together, he's whole, he's back to his regular form. All right, so okay, that means he can go in and out of his form at will. Okay, that's cool. I don't mind that.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually kind of fire. I would have even taken him prestiging, like, oh, this form, I sacrificed the look of my other form to put back into my new form to give me a cocoon state to where I can find a new possibility of growing a new power or whatever because of where I'm at. Something, some lore about his race, something. But
Nope.
this was, to me, was it was so
Cheap.
dry and cheap. The minions meant nothing. The villains you introduced meant nothing.
Especially the movie version.
Especially the movie version.
No, they meant nothing. Like it was. I'm like watching this all over again, and then you rob Vegeta of a moment that could have where he deserved, and that movie would have been 20 times better than Goku ending the battle in any multiverse than what we got. Yes, you could have brought back Cooler. Maybe Cooler was the one who initiated Frieza resurrection. That would have been
That would
interesting.
have been interesting.
Cooler hated Frieza, bro.
This is a different version of Cooler. Broly hated Goku.
No, but
and
I
the
would
retcon
still,
that.
I still would have kept that animosity. Like
I would have.
I didn't
I
care.
would
I
no,
didn't care for my dad and you.
no. Okay, that's cool. But from what I get from Cooler, Cooler would have still respected the hierarchy of his race over, because Cooler was more about
Not necessarily. I get it. Yeah, it's a
Cooler is more principled. Cooler is someone I can see who would absolutely hate a person, but because of
The greater
what
good.
the
Yeah.
greater
Yeah.
overall of
I see
what
what
the
you're saying.
family
Yeah.
is. That's why he feels he's more entitled to being leader, because he won't compromise on moments like that. If he has to work with an enemy for a time being, he'll do it.
Right.
But once it's over, he will double cross you because he doesn't like you.
Right.
That'll be his
I don't
character
like
flaw.
you, but you've brought shame to our family. So we're gonna go back to this earth. We're gonna find
And,
this
and I'm
Goku.
gonna do this in front of you to
Right.
show you how it's done.
But
to
once
let
this is
you know
done,
why.
it's up again.
Okay. That's
all
how I
right,
see
now
Cooler.
y'all,
You get what I'm
okay,
saying?
now you talking. Now you
That's
talking.
how I see Cooler.
That first part, I was like,
No, because that's something I see Cooler would do. Cooler, like, yo, I'm gonna make you feel it. I'm gonna show you why you're not better than me. So now he resurrects Frieza. Well, disappointed. I saw how you died. Da 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 da. Scolding him. Said, "Now I'll show you how it's done." Frieza was like, "Oh," and then Frieza going into golden form. You think da 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 da? Cooler's like, gold, gold, really? That's what you thought of? Let me tell you something better. Then I would have made platinum Cooler, and then he would have had a line where Cooler, Frieza, don't you know that platinum beats gold? I would have taken it. I would have took it. You want me to conceive or respect that form? I would have been like,
They
nah.
could have just remixed the visor.
A little bit, yeah.
No,
For
just
toy's sake.
you feel me?
Yeah.
For toy's sake.
I don't want no platinum.
Yeah, for toy's sake, you gotta.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna do gold, I just think for toy's sake that'd have been.
Diamond.
They would have made him diamond. They would have. They absolutely would have.
Oh, that's kind of hard though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
But yeah. No. I would have. It's because the Saiyans ruined all color palettes for us.
Oh no, for
You
sure,
know what I'm saying?
for sure.
But anyway, I would have taken that. Like this would have been a perfect time to bring in Cooler. Now you have two threats: Cooler, this unknown, and Frieza. That would have been fire. Now you have you now you actually legit have a like yo. This is a problem. Frieza's back, and he got a brother. Like boom. That would have made the story interesting. Now Goku and Vegeta have to team up and literally fight. You feel me? It would have made stuff way
And you could have
better.
done cooler things with the henchmen because you would have introduced
Yeah,
the
yeah,
cooler
yeah.
armor
Exactly.
The
squadron. Yeah,
coolest armored
Exactly.
squadron.
And
I would have
and then
loved. I would have loved to seen like even though technically they're older now, but like a weird rematch between like Piccolo, Gohan, and maybe Krillin. I would
yeah.
say
Why not?
with the
yeah,
three.
yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah. And then you have 18 is there, so now 18 could get busy. You feel me? Like you have all these elements at your disposal and you use nothing. You use nothing. Turles, oh my god. Like you all these great characters that you guys have from your films, you use none of it. And that would have easily given you 4 to 5 more seasons of Dragon Ball to where y'all don't have to. Well, this is during Buu Saga, but after, uh,
6 months later,
after
something else happens. Something else catastrophic takes place.
and Cell from the future of Trunks mishap future is back as Super Cell Organism One. Like, nah, fam, like y'all listen, go past Dragon Ball Z. Just do it. This whole we in between, it's nonsensical, very stupid. Why do you think that works? It's not gonna work for you. You guys aren't Picasso of writing. You're not the Game of Thrones writer. No, you're not J.R. Tolkien. And if you don't aspire to be J.R. Tolkien, keep it simple. Follow the formula that does not break. ABC Hero Arc will get you a lot.
And like you said, use the lore that you've already. You don't have to make
It's
it up. You already
already
have it.
there. You want to make Dragon Ball Z more refined and meaningful? Tap back into that Dragon Ball lore, that Dragon Ball birth, and then expand upon it in the Dragon Ball Z universe. So that way you have a formula that you could follow, just like Hunter x Hunter. You know certain things aren't possible with Nin, but you also know certain things are possible with Nin.
You know, it's so funny when you mentioned lore. There was a clip on Twitter that I saw, and it's like, here comes Goku, always ruining the lore just to fight. There was a scene from Dead Zone where it was Garlic Jr. and Kami talking, and Garlic Jr. was about to rant about why he wants to kill Kami and all of that. And so
Mm.
he was basically about to really explain the beef between Garlic Senior and Kami, and then Goku was like, "I don't care about a history lesson. Where's Gohan?" And I was like, "Wow!" It was right there in front of our faces. Like we were literally about to get a full storyline, and Goku just comes in and just, and it's like it's implications like that. It goes to show you, bro. Like this, this, this idiot is what messes up the story every single time.
And
Like it's like the artists, it's like the writers go through him,
Yeah.
and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. The
and it's like,
writers
and it's like, bro,
manifest.
and it's like, bro, like I said, man, like Resurrection, it deserves an F for a reason. Like, yeah, the montage with the Z Fighters, that was cool to an extent,
That's probably
but
my favorite part
seeing,
of the movie, honestly.
but then once again, seeing Gohan just okay,
They made him worse, bro. That was the
that
thing
was
that, like, I'm like, yo, what are we
This doesn't
doing?
make any sense. Like you come from seeing the threat of Boo to saying to resorting back.
and
Boo
that's what I'm
nearly
saying. Like this
destroyed.
constant regression is like, no, it's not laughable no more, bro.
It's trash.
It's pitiful.
It's trash. And then
It's
now
so
you could have lost your daughter
You would
for
think.
villains that
You
you could
would
have
think.
sneezed on
Yeah.
had you been Teen Gohan.
Right.
You fought Bojack. And you gonna be like, yo, I'm never fighting again. I'm gonna learn how to collect bugs and be an archaeologist. Like, no, dog.
Like you would think that him having a wife and kid would kind of flip the switch again of like, I need to at
I
least
For me, Gohan should be a karate teacher on the side and
Uh,
then do his professor work. I'm saying, give me something.
Well,
that's what
Give me
well,
something.
Vidal's career is.
the original plan for Gohan was to be, to become the next successor.
I
Because when
would
you
say
really
yeah.
look at his story. His first teacher was, the person who killed my father, Piccolo. And then my next teacher was my father's childhood friend. When you really look at it, like, like he spent like that time he spent with Krillin, like when it was going to Namek, all those adventures up to when Krillin died, it's like, yeah, bro, like he was learning different ways to fight. Like you were learning from Piccolo,
Look at
no,
this.
you need lethal force and you need to be precise. Krillin is a trickster. Learn how to use the battlefield for your own advantage, especially opponents that are much bigger than you.
Right. Here's some very unique ways to use ki. Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, my third teacher is finally technically my father. So I'm learning all the standards that I didn't really get before. So now I'm able to like, what type of warrior do I want to be? And
Wow.
I thought, like, as they prepared for the Cell games, he could have took that even further. Let me learn from my father's other rivals, like Tien or even Vegeta. Just like how him and Trunks went into the time chamber. Spend some time with Vegeta. Let me learn more about my own pride of my own race that I like. I'm a half breed, so like let me learn more about my own race, and like I said, the refinement as a warrior, or who do you want to be, or what type of warrior you want to be. Because look at all the teachers that you've had. But no,
Nope.
Man, Tim,
after after
Tim,
after that
what
one
you just
blast,
promoted,
yeah,
Well, you know
what
what
you
would be
just presented,
hilarious? Let's just put
this
Gohan in
is
a tracksuit.
Tim. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's that right there.
send him to high school.
Right.
I'm about to watch this episode
Yeah.
4 times. No, that was beautiful.
Let's just put Gohan
Look,
in a
did she
tracksuit.
even see it? Like
No, that's beautiful. That's
there
beautiful.
was one point when him and Krillin were training. You realize Gohan kind of did the special beam cannon, but it wasn't complete. So Piccolo was actually in the process of teaching him that before he died. But then, of course, it took almost 20 plus years later. Oh, yeah, I finally perfected it. And that's why I was like, bro, this comic relief stuff has to stop, bro. Like,
It's good
no,
when it's good.
like you should
It
have
has
been
its
using
place. It has its place.
you should have used that on Cell. You should have used that on Boo. It's like, come on, bro. Like,
But I did like, even though Gohan did tap into his Saiyan pride when he fought Cell. No, I want to enjoy this. He did tap into that
He
by
went
letting
he,
them
he
live.
went a little
And
crazy.
Goku,
He went a little
Goku
crazy.
was like,
and Cell did because
Goku was
Cell was
like,
overlooking the
yeah.
fight. It's like he wanted them Saiyan genes was kicking in, so he wanted to prolong the fight, which was his own undoing. But yeah, like I said, like what type of warrior do I want to be? And then, of course, okay, I got a little brother during this time skip. Now I'm the teacher. And then you could even like play it off some like future Gohan aspects, like, oh, Trunks was born a year before him, so now I'm also the teacher to this little kid.
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously they kind of course corrected at some point, but like this whole seesaw with Gohan was just like seeing him in that movie. I'm like, fam, this is ridiculous.
It made me hate Gohan. It made me hate Gohan. Like that's why I was so broken. I'm like, look at your hair. You took the Yamcha haircut from season none of Dragon Ball. Like, yo, like I'm like, what's going on? Y'all don't know how to make Gohan. Y'all can't give Gohan a definitive look. Like,
Or just a definitive role. Like again, like we're not expecting. I mean, granted, like I ended up enjoying superhero, but I'm like I don't need Gohan to win. Like he plays that. It's kind of like with Vegeta. Even though we want Vegeta to get his W every now and then, it's like you already know Vegeta is the one that's gonna make the compilation real. You just know it. Like no matter what Vegeta does, you're gonna clip him up. He is the Zoro to Goku's Luffy of like When you need the highlight reel, this is who you go to.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and split through this glacier right quick. Or just fly into
And
the
just yeah.
camera.
So I'm like with Gohan, it's like Gohan should be like that final checkpoint before you get to Goku and Vegeta. And he shouldn't be so easily stepped on every single time.
I mean, this is the Gohan.
You could at least have Gohan have forced Frieza to transform at least into his final form.
I'm like, this is the Gohan with the photo like this. In the gi, in the father's gi. I'm like, dog. That's the Gohan y'all choose to put in the game.
Every game.
y'all ain't put him with the y'all ain't put that y'all put in the gi, the Goku gi. That's the one that y'all picked. That's all we asking for.
And you call him Ultimate Gohan and never
you call
use
him Ultimate Gohan, and
What's
his
he
potential is
technically?
even great. And then now y'all don't
No, he's not. Yeah. I mean, to me, the
and then where's his
movie. Oh, sorry. Yeah, to me, like the movie, I'm like, I think they tried to correct some of the mistakes of Battle of the Gods because, to our earlier point, Battle of the Gods, the fights were over in 30 seconds. So you're like, there was nothing here for me to latch on to fighting wise because I blinked and everyone was on the floor. So I think they try to overcorrect by having the henchmen, and we're gonna bring in Tien and bring in Master Roshi and have this whole fight scene, which again to me is by far the best part of the movie, considering what we're working with. um, but it's just like once you kind of get past that, like to me, the movie falls off a cliff as soon as Goku and Frieza transform. As soon as they transform, I'm like, yo, just roll credits. The whole thing, but no, Anthony. Goku does the 1-inch punch. I'm like, that is one scene out of a 15-minute fight. You can't name me one other moment in that fight besides Goku doing the 1-inch punch. Nothing. Nothing stands out. No choreography. Nothing matters. And then it's just like, oh, what happened? How did Goku and Vegeta do this? Oh, off screen. I didn't even know Vegeta could turn into Super Saiyan God. Yeah, that happened off screen too. What? 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 What do you mean? And he's blue? Why? If God Key is red, why is his hair blue? Huh? Shouldn't he kind of look like Super Kaioken? Wouldn't that make the more logical sense given the mashing of colors? If you're going Super Saiyan while Super Saiyan God? No, he's blue. What? What? And I guess to kind of get into the villain a little bit, I'm like, I get it. Like Frieza is the original run of Frieza up until him losing on Planet Namek. He is one of probably the top 10 shonen villains of all time. That man was a monster on Namek. A monster. Like, if you ever go back and rewatch that whole fight, I'm like, bro, every week, next time on Dragon Ball Z, I was on the edge of, I had no idea what was going to happen next. Everyone was getting packed up.
Bro, the man ate a spirit bomb.
Yes.
What?
He was a menace, bro. A menace. A true villain. So I get the fact that you want to kind of cash in on the legacy of him. Because the way he was handled in the movies, Gohan doing the one punch in Fusion Reborn and he's dead. Dragon Ball GT, him and Cell are comedy villains. Even in the filler arc, Pycon packs him up in 30 seconds. Like, I get that Frieza's had kind of lost his name.
Got that Rob Lucci treatment.
Got turned into a clip. But I just feel like Resurrection F, I'm like, whatever you guys thought you were going to do with Frieza, you made it worse.
Yeah.
He's actually worse now. Like you guys said, like the whole thing of like Goku just showing up at the last second to blow Frieza away after time gets reversed. I'm like, you guys have butchered this character at this point. Butchered it. I mean, to be fair, they kind of redeem him a little bit in Super, where like he gets revived for the Tournament of Power and he was back on like classic Frieza.
Actually, but that's where I stand. That should have been cooler. Because I felt that arc with Cooler, especially Cooler's demeanor, that would have made more sense.
But I mean, for some reason, they didn't want to acknowledge that Cooler exists. So it's like we have to work with what we have. I don't know why they don't want to acknowledge him as existing, but I'm like, they don't want to. And it's funny you say that because, ironically enough, in your least favorite game, Sparkling Water Zero, they actually do a what if for Cooler does join the Tournament of Power. So they did. They actually they did use that idea.
It's like, bro, it does. It makes. First of all, you already messed up
y'all wanna dump money into heroes.
because, like I said, bro, you already did the comic relief. Like, okay, Majin Buu has to go to sleep again for some odd reason.
Every time.
Goten and Trunks have to babysit animals on the island. Okay, but then in Resurrection F, one person didn't get killed. I mean, it was just a standoff. Like, you know what? I'll see you around. And then, you need a person to fill up the slot. So you need a warrior from your own universe. And you have to resort to somebody you don't like. Beerus is the middleman. He's like, hey, I need you to do a job for me. What is it? The Saiyans. But it works.
It does work. We're shaking our
It
heads
works.
because we're just like, why was this never even considered?
It works. It works. Because the development of like how those fights would have been, bro, and especially that final scene, bro. Could you imagine like Goku and Cooler with the visor and Jiren and that last, but Cooler give him that little Jiren that dragon kick, like bah. But no,
Yeah,
Cooler
but
can't exist apparently. Um,
because the thing about it is, what I've always appreciated about Cooler is a rough like him as like a very refined version of Frieza, like because he has a lot of battle intellect, bro. And that's where like, because you remember how when we did the covery of Return of Cooler, like he has a no tolerance policy. He is going to kill you.
yeah, he's on lethal
And
all times. There is
and
no
that's why
stun.
like, I felt like the tournament of power, he could have showed that like, hey, nah, we gotta win this no matter what. Even though I don't like you, we got to win this no matter what. And you could have saw his battle intellect amongst all those battles because at one point Frieza just was like disappearing
Yeah,
everyone.
like they tried it with Frieza, but it didn't really work because it's like you don't like them, but you're helping them, but then you're not helping them, and then you're teaming up with Gohan, and then it's like this is just odd.
Like for example, when they were fighting the Pride Troopers, that's where Cooler like intellect could have shined. Like, oh, this dude is super fast. This dude is this. This dude is that, and how you deal with that. Or even just, I would have even loved a fight between him and Topo, like how that would have gone versus the embarrassment Frieza got.
Yeah,
Like, bro, there could have been so much possibilities, bro. Because you ain't gonna allow nobody to wash Cooler like how you did Frieza.
I mean,
Like,
this is modern Dragon Ball Tim. Anything's possible.
not like that. Man.
Ah.
Not like that.
So I guess ultimately in the movie, clearly we kind of hit every point of like we didn't like how they handled the characters. We didn't like how they handled the villains. We didn't like how
yeah,
they handled the pacing. It's just,
it's 3 Fs, man. It's
yeah.
3 Fs. I
I,
watched the movie and I was like,
yeah.
where's like there's not when Vegeta started to do his thing, I was like, all right,
Right.
okay,
It felt like
okay,
we were getting somewhere, and it
okay. And then
just
he blew up the planet within seconds because so Vegeta and Blue State couldn't see this.
right.
Nice try, Frieza.
Right. And just booted Frieza up into the air and just goodbye. Yeah,
And
no.
final flat like that, and then you would have seen Vegeta over the the hemisphere just depowering as Vegeta as Frieza crumbles into dust.
Mm-hmm.
It's done.
Borrowed from his son. It's over, Frieza. Just no, asking for too much, right? Just asking for too much.
But yeah,
Dirty
I'm not.
fireworks. Too much. But yeah, I always tell people like I don't hate this movie as much as the general fandom does, but I also can't defend it. It's one of those movies
No,
where I'm like, I cannot. When someone's like, but I'm like, yeah, you're right. You are right. I don't know what to say. I have no rebuttal. I can't debate you on why you don't like this part of the movie. I can't. Again, I like the henchman fight. I like some aspects of when Goku and Frieza are fighting in their base forms, but after that, I'm just like, this, they could have kept this. And even with the anime changes, I'm like, it was cool. You brought back Ginyu. That was interesting. Right? But I'm like, but it meant nothing
Because
because
he's in a different body. Different body.
right. It was just to
yeah,
give Vegeta that last kill
that's
count.
that's that's when Vegeta remember like, oh, you do realize I am a completionist, and you were the last one left.
I was hoping to run into you. Then you had Goten and Trunks show up on the fight, turn into Gotenks, and that turned into comedy, and they end up flying away. Like, then why did you even? So you corrected this only to ruin it even more. All right, all right, all right.
I don't know who's at that table, and I'm like, man, like y'all need a couple of Gen Zers to tell you like this is dog water, or like just so you can feel the burn to get you thinking in a different direction. That's all we need.
Yeah,
But like,
I think what I feel like always works a lot, or a lot of times, and like a back and forth, is like when you repeat someone's idea out loud back to them, it corrects so many things. Like, so let me hear this. Let me get this straight. You want to revive Frieza and have him fight Goku and Vegeta again instead of introducing the rest of his family. Am I hearing you correctly? Well, the toys. Cooler will sell. He always sells toys.
The man has a visor for a reason. Like,
He's been in every single Dragon Ball game since Budokai 3. I'm pretty sure the fan base will be
and then you could have had the
happy.
nostalgia. You could have had the nostalgia moment of when he surfed through the Kamehameha
Right.
wave. Bah!
What are we doing? No, Frieza. Tell Toriyama. Save this for the anime. We're doing cooler. Get his Cell Saga editor on the phone. Tell him that he
yeah,
said it.
it's
No.
like, yeah,
Yeah. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have heard it. This might not have been the grand return to the anime corner they may have wanted, but trust and behold, we have a lot much better things to say about Broly. Spoiler alert: we do not look at Broly the same way we look at these first two movies by any comparison. So
Mm.
take from that what you will. But until then, preach. What's it?
no, you had a controversial take on the first Broly movie, which is
Oh no,
hilarious.
the original Broly movie is
Yeah,
garbage,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Tarzan Broly gets all the stars.
All right.
But till next time, ladies and gents, appreciate you guys tuning into Anime Corner. If there is especially a 90s anime movie that you know we've seen that you want us to cover, please leave it in the comments as a suggestion or on our Discord. But until next time, I am Antonius the Gamer, Mikkel Smith, Super SSS rank. Peace.